All right. So let me go back to explaining this. Let me go back to explaining this. No, you don't have to go to you don't have to go to TMC because TMC is not even going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. And that's the T. Because TMC is not going to explain to you what I'm going to explain to you. So you can stay right here, baby. Hold on. Okay, so listen. The charges explain. According to what's being reported right now, Wendy Osefo is facing 16 total charges. 7 of them are being felonies. The key allegation of all of this is that she's making false or misleading information fraud in an excess of $300. Basically, prosecutors are alleging that Wendy knowingly provided false information. Are we listening? The prosecutors are alleging that Wendy falsely, knowingly provided false information to receive money that is over a $300 value. She's also facing one misdemeanor for making a false statement to an officer. Wendy Osefo is a star from the Real Housewives of Potomac. Wendy Osefo is one of the stars of the Real Housewives of Potomac. If you're just joining me, thank you for joining this special report. This is the Reality Rundown. I am your host, Wellington Gomez. I am the chief correspondent and editor of the Reality Rundown. We cover all things reality TV. So please follow us and please tap that screen. We are in breaking news mode right now because one of the biggest stars from the Real Housewives of Potomac, TMC, has learned that they were booked and charged with fraud. The prosecution is alleging that Wendy Osefo knowingly provided false and deceptive information to receive money, services, and benefits over $300 in value. She's also facing one misdemeanor for making a false statement. She's also facing one misdemeanor for making a false statement to an officer, which typically means lying to law enforcement during an investigation or an interview. You only get charged with making a false statement to an officer if you lie during an investigation or during an interview. So let me explain the $300 of it all, because I see in the comments a lot of people are talking about that. So let me just explain the $300 of it all. Ready? That in excess $300 part is actually very important, because that's what elevates the crime from a misdemeanor to a felony. The fact that it's over $300, that's the important part. Again, it could be $301. It could be $400. It could be $700. It could be $3 million. However, the $300 benchmark is what makes it a crime from a misdemeanor to a felony under many state laws, including Maryland. Once the alleged fraudulent amount crosses that threshold, the penalties can become very, very big. Again, Wendy Osefo and her husband are being, but also it's very important to know that TMC does not know what Eddie's being charged with. I need to make sure that we are clear on that. TMC does not know what Eddie is being charged with. Okay? However, we do know that Wendy is being charged with 16 total. charges. And that seven of those 16 charges are felonies. Are we listening? We do not know what Eddie's being charged with. I know that the TMC article is confusing, but this is why I'm here to explain. According to what's being reported, there's 16 total charges. 7 of them are felonies, which are the most serious kind of criminal charges. The key allegation is that they're making false or misleading information fraudulent in excess of $300. This type of charge usually falls under fraudulent misrepresentation or obtaining money / property by fraud. So basically, what prosecutors are alleging is that Wendy Osefo knowingly provided false information to receive money in $300 in over $300 in value. The prosecution is alleging that Wendy knowingly provided false information to receive money over $300 in value. Over $300 in value. We don't know yet what that value is. It could be 301. It could be 305. It could be $3 million. That $300 benchmark is what makes it go from a misdemeanor to a felony. And I don't want to see Wendy and Eddie go to jail because Wendy and Eddie have 3 children, 3 small children. Wendy and Eddie are 2 Black professionals. Wendy has 4 degrees. I believe that Eddie has 2 degrees. Wendy and Eddie have been amazing people in their communities. You know, we hold Wendy and Eddie to a very high standard. Actually, when Wendy and Eddie came into this housewife situation, they raised the bar. When Wendy and Eddie came into Housewives, they raised the bar. They raised the bar. So I really hope that this is some type of misunderstanding, and at the end of the day, you're innocent into proven guilty, and these are just the things that they're being charged with right now. And I hope that they figure this out. I hope that they figure this out. So, do you guys want to know about the possible jail time? Would you guys like to know about the possible jail time? Every case depends on the evidence, on the evidence, of course, and the plea deal potential, if there is one. But I researched as I was looking at this article right before I came on the live and everything. I made sure to research some stuff to make sure what could be the possible jail time. So for felony fraud over $300, you could be up to 10 years in prison per count. And she's facing 16 counts. defraud over $300, you are facing up to 10 years in prison per count. And there's 16 counts against her. But only seven of them are felonies. So if only 7 of them are felonies and you can face up to 10 years per felony count, then that means she could face up to 70 years in jail, in prison. Is this real? Yeah. Would I be here faking this? Like, would I be here faking this? She could also be facing restitution if whoever she defrauded allegedly was a person. Like, people. Like, if she did, like, on some Jen Shah stuff. If it was on some Jen Shah stuff, then she might have to pay restitution to these people. So for the misdemeanor, she's also facing up to 6 months in jail to a year, from 6 months to a year, and fines up to $1,000 for the misdemeanor. Since she has multiple felony counts, if convicted on several of them, a judge could stack the sentences consecutively. So I'm gonna go back to the $300 detail because I see that that's being, a lot of people are putting that in the chat. So I'm gonna just go back real quick to the $300 detail. That in excess of $300 part is what elevates the crime from a misdemeanor to a felony. And the reason why it says in excess is because the prosecution is alleging that Wendy knowingly provided false information to receive money or services over $300 in value. And the reason why they have to mention the $300 is because that's the threshold. This is Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo. She is one of the stars of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Wendy Osefo is one of the stars of the Real Housewives of Potomac. You guys are it's not legitimately about $300. Why do you guys keep missing that part? I'm not going to keep explaining that because I feel like I've explained that part. So I don't want to keep explaining that. Let me go back and let me reset the room. Wendy is being charged with 16 total charges. Thank you for the gifts, Dre. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate you liking my breaking news report. I appreciate you liking my breaking news report. So thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it, guys. Wendy is facing 16 total charges. 7 of those are felonies. 7 of those charges are felonies. The prosecution is alleging that Wendy knowingly provided false information to receive money or services over $300 in value. Are we following? Are we following? She's also facing 1 misdemeanor for making a false statement to an officer. And that means that she had to lie to law enforcement during an investigation or an interview. $300. So listen, about the $300, In the state of Maryland, in order for a misdemeanor in fraud to go from a misdemeanor to a felony, the fraud amount has to be over $300. So you can scam someone for less than $300 and you'll get charged with a misdemeanor. You won't get charged with a felony. But the moment that you pass $300, it could be 301, 302, it could be 350 cents. The moment that you pass that $300, your crime becomes a felony. We still don't know the exact value of the fraud that Wendy is being charged with. She could be getting charged with, the fraud could be in a total of 350 cents, but it could also be $3,000. It could also be $3 million. Since TMC is the one that reported the story and they don't know those details yet. However, they know that it has to be over $300 in value, so they're adding that to the report because that's just the legal language. But we don't know exactly yet what was the amount. But let's use our heads let's use our heads a little bit. You will not be getting charged with 16 charges and 7 felonies for $300. So I don't think the amount is less than that. Okay, we have new information. Breaking news, we have new information. 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 We have it. Okay. Police say, hold up now. Police say that the couple reported a burglary in April of last year. Oh my God, this is going crazy. The police are saying that the couple reported a burglary in April last year. The couple claimed they found their bedroom ransacked after returning from a trip to Jamaica. We told you about that. We told you about, I think, yeah, we reported that. The couple reportedly told police several designer bags and jewelry had been stolen. But get this, Wendy was later caught in a social media post wearing a diamond ring she claimed was stolen. Ciao! I forgot I'm on YouTube Live too, child. Police say that the couple reported a burglary in April of last year. The couple claimed they found their bedroom ransacked after returning from a trip to Jamaica. The couple reportedly told police several designer bags and jewelry had been stolen. But get this, Wendy was later caught in a social media post wearing a diamond ring that she claimed was stolen. Additionally, an investigation determined that numerous items that the Osefos claimed were stolen had been purchased, then returned to the store, where a full refund was provided prior to the burglary. Wendy Osefo. Oh, wow. 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 So, yeah, I'm not feeling bad about this. Wendy and Eddie try to commit insurance fraud. Wendy and Eddie try to, yeah, no shade. I no longer feel bad for them. I no longer feel bad for them. Wendy, you were just on Happy Eddie saying that you were just on Potomac saying that Happy Eddie has been making y'all mad money. You were just on Potomac saying that Happy Eddie is making mad money and that y'all been living the good life because Happy Eddie is making a lot of money. According to police reports, in April of last year, Wendy and Eddie reported a burglary at their home after returning from a trip to Jamaica. They told the police that their bedroom had been ransacked and that designer bags and jewelry, including luxury items and Wendy's diamond ring, were stolen. But here's the plot twist. Police later found social media posts showing Wendy and the same diamond ring she had reported stolen. The investigators discovered that many of the stolen items had actually been returned to the stores. Are y'all following this? Investigators discovered that many of the stolen items had actually been returned to the stores and fully refunded. And they investigated this. And she had returned these items before claiming them that they were stolen in the burglary that she reported. So she had already returned the items before she claimed that this burglary even happened. How you claiming shit was stolen, but you returned it and you got a full refund for it? Y'all gotta let that hood shit go when y'all make it to a certain level. No shade, because that's some real. Like, no shade. I get it. No shade. I get it. Because who hasn't returned something? Let me shut up before they. Let me shut up. But y'all gotta let that go when y'all make it to a certain level. Y'all gotta let that go after y'all make it to a certain level. How you posting on social media? How you posting on social media with the same ring that you're telling the police was stolen? That makes no sense. I know she's not from the hood, but you know what I mean. Like, that gutter behavior. For the people that don't know who they are, Wendy is one of the stars from the Real Housewives of Potomac, and that's her husband. Wendy is one of the stars of the Real Housewives of Potomac, and that's her husband. Many of the items that Wendy claimed were stolen in that burglary in April of last year, Wendy had already returned to the stores and gotten a full refund for. But they, but then a professor, mind you, a professor from John Hopkins University, a educator that has 4 degrees, and her husband, who is also a lawyer, decided to tell police that there was items stolen, even though they had already returned it. Let me just be very specific. In Maryland, felony charges over $300, you can serve up to 10 years in prison per count. Felony charges over $300, you can face up to 10 years in prison per count. And she's being charged with 7 counts of felony, which means Wendy is facing over 70 years in prison. I saw a comment that said, "Y'all are so geeked to see people go to prison." I am not happy about this. I'm reporting the news, and it is what it is. And while I report the news, I also got to clock some irregularities, and I also got to clock some things, because let's call a spade a spade. When Karen was found guilty, and when Karen got arrested, and when Karen went to jail, one of the biggest contrarians to that situation was Wendy. Wendy had a lot to say about that Karen situation, and she felt like Karen needed to face the fire, and if she did something wrong, she needed to face the crime. So it's not that I'm happy about her going to jail, and it's not that I'm happy about any of that. I'm not. Wendy has 3 little kids. Ain't nobody happy about Wendy be possibly facing 70 years in jail when she has 3 small children. However, what goes around comes around, and that's why you need to be careful what you say about others when you're over here reporting shit got stolen and you already returned it and got full refunds for it. You holding Karen's hand to the fire, but you're telling police that you got that your designer bags and your jewelry got stolen, but then they did an investigation and they found that those items that you reported stolen were already returned to the stores, and a full refund were processed, and you're claiming those items were stolen, and you got 3 kids at home. You're willing to put your 3 kids safety in danger over designer bags? However, Eddie's a lawyer. The Osefos have money. So lawyer up. Lawyer up. Lawyer up. And hopefully there's no jail time. And hopefully there's no jail time. But if there is, I hope that the judge lets them serve like they let Teresa and Joe serve. One first and then the other. So the kids are not alone. Eddie, let me just say this. TMC does not know yet what Eddie's being charged with. I'm going to open the lines because I want to know what people are saying. So I'm opening the hotline. So request. I want to know what you guys are saying. I want to know what you guys are saying. So I'm opening the hotline. And I want to know what you guys are saying. Next caller. Can you hear me, babe?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. So let me know what you're thinking right now about this Wendy Osefo stuff.
I'm shook for real. Like, I don't even know what to fully think. I think everyone's confused because of the $300 minimum, but I think it's more than $300 because they mentioned the diamond ring that she was wearing in the live feed or the social media.
Yeah.
And then they also said that the other items were returned to the store and refunded for full amount.
Yep.
So I think the state minimums are $300, but they haven't given a full amount yet. So I think that's explaining the full charges for real.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. The $300 is not like a lot of people are very like stuck on that. But now that TMC has released more information, we know that we're just not talking about 300 simple dollars. We know that we're talking about multiple items that Wendy reported stolen, and later and before she reporting this item stolen, many of these items she had already returned to the store and had already received full refunds for.
Yes, that's why I'm shook, because then how sloppy is it that you're wearing that diamond ring in your social media? Like, you forgot what you reported stolen? I thought she's a doctor, so I'm a little confused how she made that mistake for real.
There's more information.
Hit me.
Hold on. One second. Let me. There's other people on the call, so I'll come back to you. Okay.
Thank you.
Next caller. Hi, my love. Hi, Kadian.
Hey guys. Okay, so Wendy and Eddie being locked up. Karma is crazy.
So listen.
That's why you don't pick nobody when they're down.
Thank you. Additionally, an investigation determined numerous items the Osefos claimed were stolen had been purchased, then returned to the store where the full refund was provided prior to the alleged burglary. The documents indicate that the couple had claimed a $450,000 personal property loss in an insurance to an insurance company.
Oh, so they were doing insurance fraud?
That's basically what.
And smiling in the mugshot?
That's basically what it is. Insurance fraud. $450,000.
But Wendy was bragging and acting like the money that Eddie's recently bringing in from Happy Eddie is so high, multi-million dollars, all of this stuff. And you walk around with your chin so high, you brag about being Miss 4 degrees, and I could talk my ish because I have 3. And you walk around with your head held high amongst everybody else and all this, all that. And you couldn't even say hi to your friend. And now look, karma is crazy. I just don't understand. So who got them kids though?
Let me see what the other people are saying, child. Next caller.
I see someone said Wendy should have remained in her professor job. No, because she'd have lost it today, that's for sure.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's tea, honeybee?
Yes, so this is so crazy. I really feel like this whole thing about like the returns, let's be for real, Wendy is not making her own returns. So it's like, I get it, she might have embellished a little bit with the report, but I don't know. I feel like they definitely trying to overdo it and like throw the book at her.
Wait, girl, you don't think Wendy's making her own returns?
No, you think Dr. Wendy is going back into Louis Vuitton or back into wherever to return items?
Baby,
baby,
no shade, baby. If she drives herself to all of the events on that show, she returns all her clothes to.
That's on camera. That is on camera. Of course, she gonna try and get her little drive her nice car. Do whatever.
No, because none of the girls with money drive. You don't see people on Beverly Hills driving.
So I would definitely send my assistant or somebody to do my return. So she probably had, they be buying a lot of stuff.
I don't know, sis. I
feel like they trying to throw the book in my good sister.
No, but I hear you, and I also think that, at the end of the day, one thing we know is that they're always going to try to throw the book on Black people. We know that for sure. So that goes without saying. Thank you for joining me, Diva. Next caller. Next caller. Next caller.
Good morning from LA. Hello, all. Hello, Wellington.
Hello, Thomas. What do you think about this breaking news?
Listen, okay, I broke the news to the chat. That's the first time I ever broke news to the chat, okay? I want to do the chat. Let me tell you something. The last caller that was on here, I understand we like to cap for our favorites and we like to protect them and we want to make sure that we are defending them, which is totally fine. But we need to call a spade for an intelligent woman like this to be caught up in a situation like this. It's not by mistake. Throwing the book at her or not. Now, you should not put yourself in a situation to where they would even need to throw the book at you. Man, you are a doctor with 4 degrees. This is a disgrace. And then you smiling in this damn mugshot as if it's a joke. I just am trying to understand what the thinking was. And I understand that the money isn't there. You can look at their lifestyle and tell the money isn't there. First of all, Wendy lives so far up Maryland, this close to Delaware. She lives nowhere close to Baltimore. It's Finksburg, Maryland, right? And this empty mansion. And she doesn't work at her Johns Hopkins anymore. Sure. She's going to need to find another way to make money. And honestly, Nigerian scamming is par for the course. Are we really that surprised? Come on. I truly believe that this is real. And I don't want to get caught up on the $300. Thank you for giving the more information, Wellington, because I do think that it's a developing story. So
correct.
I want to see more information come out. And so I really just want to make sure that people are being fair across the board about where they apply their criticism, because this isn't a woman who is aloof. This is an intelligent woman who came on the show telling us that she had 4 degrees. Which one of those degrees are going to get you out of this situation? Clock that. She might need to call NECA because NECA was the lawyer. She might need to call NECA since she would have beef with NECA and have NECA help her out.
Now I have to call NECA, child. Oh no. Yeah, this is very interesting. Like I said, 16 charges, 7 of them being felony in the state of Maryland. For felony charges over $300, you're facing 10 years minimum in prison per count. She's facing 7 felony counts. That's 70 years. And the documents that TMC has obtained say that they claimed 450. Wow.
Listen, clankety clank. One thing about Karen, she gave us the amazing soundbite to apply to all of these charges that are being levied at the people from the Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't know what's going on. First, we got Karen, now Wendy. I don't know. The season just started, but I'm already looking forward to the reunion. The reunion gonna be so good.
Oh, the reunion
gonna be so.
Oh, the reunion is gonna be so good. Like that's not even and you know and this is the thing. This is the thing because I saw some people like, "Oh my god, you guys are happy that this is happening." It's not about being happy that this is happening, but again, Wendy and other people were very very vocal about Karen and Karen having to face the fire and Karen having to face, you know, the tea.
Exactly.
So now,
and not only that, but sometimes most of the time, especially if you want to harken back to the Monique situation and then talk about the Karen situation, Wendy sometimes purports herself to be the moral police, right? She tried to say, "Oh, well, you know, black women, I am fighting for black women to be seen in a certain light, and so that we are not treated a certain way, right?" And then we're Karen like, "Oh, people need to atone for their mistakes, and that's not like all of these things." And it's just like, girl, you're really not the girl that you think that you are. And I something about her always gave me weird. And I was saying it, I think about the way that she dresses, she embellishes, and you could tell that how she dresses on the show is not how she dresses in her day-to-day life. And it's a facade for something. And I am just really interested to see how the story plays out. Yeah, like Tommy, you read her down. This is slight work, right? I ain't really even get into it.
Yeah, this is not even, he's not reading actually. He's just, trust me that Thomas is not reading right now.
when the full story come out, this developed and Wellington want to jump back on here, we gonna get into some more things.
Yeah, for sure. Let me get the next caller, child. Let me see. Let me see.
Thank you guys in the comments.
Next caller. Child.
I know Giselle is living right now.
Y'all so messy.
I know Candace is Giselle and Candace are king down to the house. I need all the AKAs to the front. I want to have a conversation. I need all the IVs to the front.
Not the IVs to the front.
I need the IVs to the front of the house. Of course.
Not the IVs to the
front. You nowhere. Wendy likes to look down on people a little bit. And it's crazy because we just chopped her yesterday.
Literally.
Yesterday. I was just like, something's going on with her, but I feel like she does have this better than attitude and she looks down on people. I don't want to get into what I want to get into, but you know, I'm never like too hard on black people getting over. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't particularly care what you feel in Chanel bags and like Thomas said, I think she's just trying to keep up with the Joneses and portray a lifestyle that she doesn't actually live. And I guess that's the essence of Housewives, right? Like these rich women who can buy all these things and have all these labels, but it just never fully gave for Wendy. And I feel like she's been a try-hard since she got on the show. And that's like, be yourself, you know what I mean? And then, I got 4 degrees and I do this and that, but you return a Chanel bag, sister. I don't know.
Chanel. Not only that, but you're also so sloppy to the point that you are being pictured with the items that you're claiming were stolen from you.
No, that's crazy.
And not only that, but you this is the thing, and this is the thing, because at the end of the day, I say this to some people that I know all the time: stop being greedy, stop being unnecessarily greedy. Like, first of all, you're not poor, so why are you being unnecessarily greedy? So let's say the burglary that they claim happened in April of last year did actually happen, but let's say they didn't take shit and they only took like $100 worth of stuff. The fact that she saw that opportunity to report other shit that she had already returned and fully gotten refunds for, it's insane. And I don't know Eddie's involvement in all of this, but the fact that Eddie, if he did see her do this, the fact that Eddie sat there and said, "Yeah, that's a good idea, let's do it." Y'all both some dumb ass motherfuckers for real, because you have 4 degrees and you are a lawyer.
Eddie might lose his license.
Like, I you tell me Teresa and Joe did this, and I will say, yeah, they did it. Send them to. But the fact that Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo did this, a woman of academia.
Never win when you play dirty. Never.
There's a lot going on.
This is insanity. This timeline is going crazy. I love it. And didn't she just do an interview on the red carpet for there were liars?
What's the tea, Tang? What's the tea? Let's go.
I said 16 charges driving away.
Girl, get out my face. Get out my face.
I can't.
You know, Tang, this is why I do not let you up on my shit, because she says, you know that song by Beyonce, 16 carriages. She says 16 charges driving away on the Maryland sun in Yo, that's not funny yet. Like, oh my. I'm talking about that's not funny, and I'm falling out. Hold on, y'all, because I need to real quick.
Is it paused for just me?
No, I'm having.
Paused for me too. I think he might have checked his messages.
Yeah, I'm like trying to.
I don't know what's going on with Wednesday. I live though.
I'm living for it.
Sorry, I had to pause real quick because I'm trying to get into you guys know that I have to report this stuff, and I'm trying to update the reality rundown right now.
I'm not happy that you might go to jail. I just think it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
It's not. And that's why you keep your mouth off of other people when they're going through a situation, because one thing about those tables, they always turn.
Always.
I don't know. I feel like jail seems to be a theme now with Housewives. I don't know. What's the city?
I know.
She was just in New York on the damn Nigerian float, like at the parade.
You know they said Karina sent the pictures over with them wearing stuff.
The what?
Karina sent the pictures over them wearing the stuff they returned. When she ain't speak at that event, Karina called the police.
Listen, and I don't listen. She about to get whacked from all sides, and deservedly so. I know Kiana gonna whack her real good.
Wait, Caribbean Disco said this live is based AF. Do you mean biased?
That's what I think they missed. They missed that I in between the B and A.
Oh no, Karen isn't a saint. No one's a saint. We hope that Wendy doesn't go to jail. We hope that she's able to be the.
But I feel like a lot of people are very disingenuous, and it's like at the end of the day, the only reason why we're holding Wendy to the fire is because Wendy held Karen to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So we're applying the same measure of grace that Wendy applied to Karen. No shade. So don't come over here telling me that I'm wrong or that I'm biased or that I'm saying anything that you don't like when this is how Wendy talked about Karen. If she did something wrong, she needs to face the fire. Well, baby, face the fire. And I hope you have a good lawyer, because I don't want to see you go.
You know what's so interesting is that I was having a conversation with somebody on Twitter not too long ago, and I was talking about how we see pre-housewife friendships or connections from every other cast member except for Wendy, right? Like we see Wendy's family, her mom, her sister, obviously, right? But we don't see friends of Wendy's like we see Erica Lyles and Kyle from Giselle, or even Robin's RIP to her former hairstylist and friend Shirley. Or when Mia and Jacqueline having a friendship before the show, you don't really get to see people who know Wendy before Housewives except for her family. And I think that's by her own design, because I think she's trying to control the narrative of what's out about her, when to me, that just screams that you're shielding a part of your life from us because you're going to be exposed. And I think this plays into a bit of probably why we don't see much of her instead of filming.
Right.
She's only really active when the show is on, you know?
I will have to say that I kind of agree with that analysis, Thomas, because that is right. We never really get to see Wendy's friends or anything like that for real. And I want.
Not even a line sister was highlighted at her birthday party. Like even though they did the little stroll for like 2 seconds, it wasn't like a line sister or a special, which they call like their favorite big sister or little sister or whatever. None of that was featured.
Right.
Like it's just weird. It's like, girl, what else is your life about?
Oh my God, y'all.
The comments going crazy. I'm looking.
But you know what? I did not think that this is no shade.
Lends itself to that, whatever weird complications are going on. I can't see no comments. Maybe because he's paused.
Sorry, I'm posting something. Sorry.
Did you know Wendy and Eddie were in debt for years prior to the show?
I mean, all them degrees, I would assume so, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that as far as intimate knowledge, but it doesn't surprise me to know that, though.
I mean, yeah, you got 4 degrees. You got 4 degrees. I'm sure you're in debt. Barack Obama paid his debt off.
It's crazy because I want to book Wendy to be the keynote speaker at the conference I directed in August, and she said she had other things going on. I guess she was scamming, child.
Yeah.
I was trying to give her an actual real coin.
Oh my God.
The degrees are far, probably.
Oh my God. Not talking about she was probably scamming and that's why she couldn't be on your. Oh my God. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, Wellington, thanks said, tell Wellington to let me on again. I will be civil, I promise.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll be civil, I promise.
What's T-Tang?
He was in debt for years with Eddie.
Mm.
We're going to talk about. And let's talk about the fact that Happy Eddie never had clients.
Ooh.
Never had clients.
Ooh.
The website does not even work.
Ooh. The website don't work.
No.
HappyEddie.com. Hold on now. HappyEddie.com. Hold on there. Product. Okay,
I knew it.
Hold on. No, hold on, Tang. I might have to call you a liar.
Go on the website. You can't book anything.
Well, you can't purchase cannabis online.
Yeah, you can't.
Place it anyway because they're not allowed to ship depending upon what state.
Yeah, it says that you have to. If you scroll, you see, Tang, get on my face. That's one, but she know I love her, but she get on my nerves sometimes. She get on my nerves sometimes. But I love her down. Tang is one of my OG supporters. Yo, there's people calling me left and right. Girl, I'm on live right now. I'm on live. Yes.
Wait.
Yes, Wendy Osefo and
shut up. What? Wendy and her husband got arrested?
Yes, I'm on live. I need to call you back. Please. Everybody calling me, y'all. Everybody calling me. They want the tea. And here's the tea. Wendy's being charged with 16 charges. 7 of them are felony. Out of those 7 felony charges, she's facing 10 years per charge. Allegedly. Basically, prosecution is claiming that Wendy committed insurance fraud by reporting items stolen that she had already returned and received full refunds for. Not only that, some of the items that she also claims were stolen from her, she was pictured with them on social media. For those that are just joining, Wendy Osefo was arrested because the prosecution is claiming that back in April of last year, Wendy claims that there was a burglary that happened at their home when they were returning back from a trip to Jamaica. And they did a report, an insurance report, about all of the items that were stolen in that said burglary, right? However, here's the twist. After Wendy and Eddie claimed that these items were stolen from them in this burglary that happened in April, Wendy was pictured in social media with the same diamond ring that she claimed was stolen. And then police did an investigation and found that many of the items that Wendy claimed were stolen, she had already gone back to the store, returned them, and received full refunds for. Is a lot going on. 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 The report also says that Wendy returned the items before she even reported the burglary. Y'all know what that means, right? That means that, let's say the burglary was real. She took that as an opportunity to claim stolen items when she had already returned them. Now social media is going crazy, and some think that even the burglary was staged. Some think that even the burglary was staged and that it was all a scheme that Todd set up in order to get some coin from an insurance company. Allegedly. Allegedly. TMC doesn't know exactly what Eddie is being charged with yet. Those claims have not come out. Those claims have not come out yet, okay? The Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie have been hit with 16 criminal charges, including 7 felonies, after police say that the couple faked a burglary to cash in on an insurance company. According to the reports, the Osefos told the police their home was ransacked last April while they were in Jamaica, claiming designer bags and jewelry, including Wendy's diamond ring, were stolen. However, investigators say Wendy was later spotted online wearing the same ring, and receipts, listen to this, receipts show many stolen items had already been returned for refunds before the alleged break-in. Now they're facing multiple fraud counts and false statement charges with potential prison time if convicted. And let me just remind you that in the state of Maryland, felony charge over $300 can get you up to 10 years in prison per count. And Wendy is facing 7 felony counts, which means that possibly Wendy could be going to prison for 70 years if a court finds her guilty and convince her of the highest count in all the charges. Let me just remind you that a court just found, someone said now Wendy before Natalie. Oh my God. Let me just remind you, to all of my watchers, let me just remind you that the Maryland courts may not be too fond of Wendy. And the reason why the Maryland courts may not be too fond of Wendy is because a court just found Karen guilty and sent her to prison. I don't think that the Maryland courts and the judges are trying to play with these reality stars that think they're higher than thou. So I don't see this going well for her. I don't see this going well in the court, because I think that due to the fact that she's on a high-rated television show, and due to the fact that one of her castmates was just found guilty of a whole different crime, they might want to throw the book on her to make another example. However, we do know that Karen was offered a plea deal. And I hope that Wendy and Eddie are smart enough to accept that plea deal if it's offered to them. If Wendy and Karen are given a plea deal, I hope they take the plea deal. Wendy and Eddie have been on the Real Housewives of Potomac since season 5. This is her 5th season on the show. Eddie and Wendy share 3 small children. Again, for everybody joining, the Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie have been hit with 16 criminal charges. 7 of those charges are felonies, after police say that the couple faked a burglary to cash in on insurance money. According to reports, the Osefos told police their home was ransacked last April while they were in Jamaica. The Reality Rundown told you about that report last April, claiming designer bags and jewelry, including Wendy's diamond ring, were stolen. However, investigators say Wendy was later spotted online wearing the same ring, and receipts show many stolen items had already been returned for full refunds before the alleged break-in. So now Wendy is facing multiple fraud counts and false statement charges over this. Give me a statement. I'm texting. I'm texting. I need call in. I might hold on. I'm trying to see if I can get someone. And you know what's crazy? I'm gonna be in Baltimore this weekend. So I feel like I'm gonna have to show up to this court, child. I feel like I'm gonna have to go up. I'm gonna have to find this address and boots on the ground. I feel like I'm gonna have to go boots on the ground, child. Should I text Mia? I got her number. Should I text Mia and see what she thinks about this? I got her number. I'm on TikTok live and the people want to hear from you during this breaking news report. Let me know if you want to join. I texted her. Let's see what happens. You never know. And at the end of the day, I'm a journalist. So let's get to the tea. Because what is going on right now? This is very sad. But you know what's sadder? What's sadder is going on national television claiming that you're rich, and allegedly faking a burglary to commit insurance fraud. Excuse me? When you got 3 kids at home, and when you got 3 kids at home, you shouldn't be doing no funny business like that. You should not be playing with the law when you got 3 kids at home. You should not be playing with the law when you have 3 kids at home. So let me reset the room real quick. The Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie have been hit with 16 criminal charges. 7 of those 16 charges are felony counts, after police say the couple faked a burglary to cash in on insurance money. According to reports, the Osefos told police their home was ransacked last April while they were in Jamaica, claiming designer bags and jewelry, including Wendy's diamond ring, were stolen. But investigators say Wendy was later spotted online wearing the same ring, and receipts show many items were stolen. Many of the stolen items that Wendy reported to the police, she had already returned and received full refunds for it.
Okay, I'm back. Only because I have access to the court documents now. Wellington, I have DM'd them to you on Twitter so you can have more information to give. And I'm just going to read a little bit of it for the people and give more context to what you have been saying from the TMZ article. So the court documents are saying that an arrest warrant was issued and bail was set at $50,000. The state's evidence would show this is the allegation in this case are that on April 7, 2024, Carroll County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to Finksburg in Carroll County, Maryland for a call of a reported burglary. The deputy was met by the homeowners who reported to him that they had left to go on a trip to Jamaica on April 2nd, 2024, and when they returned on April 7, 2024, at approximately 10 p.m., they found their bedroom and both closets to be ransacked and several designer handbags and jewelry had been stolen. The state's evidence would show the reported point of entry into the home to be the owner's bathroom window on the second floor. The window looks onto a small roof that was about 9 feet above the deck. There were no ladders and the deck furniture was undisturbed and no indication anyone had been on the deck. The Osefo stated they didn't touch anything prior to police arrival. However, investigations determined that on April 8, 2024, the Osefos initiated 3 separate insurance claims for the burglary and theft: traveler's insurance, jewelers, mutual insurance, and home site insurance company for the alleged losses suffered while they were away. Eddie Osefo gave recorded statements to 2 of the insurance companies regarding a list of stolen items to be provided. He was asked whether any of the items on the list had been returned, which he denied. He was asked if he had other insurance, but failed to disclose to Homesite and jewelers that he was also making a claim with traveler's insurance. For Homesite, both Edward and Wendy Osefo signed a sworn statement of loss, which was notarized. The total amount of loss claimed on the sworn statement of loss was $2,500 for the building and $450,000 estimated for contents and personal property. He included the inventory of reported stolen items, along with receipts for purchases of most of the inventory. The claim was denied due to failure to disclose the policy with traveler's insurance. In the original claim submitted on April 8th, Eddie confirmed that he and his wife were wearing their anniversary bands when the loss occurred. However, Eddie told traveler's insurance on April 10th and said he needed to update their claim, stating his wife's gold diamond anniversary band was missing. That same day, traveler's insurance settled the claim for $25,380, which included the replacement price of the band at $4,500. After the initial reported claim on April 11, 2024, both Eddie and Wendy signed and submitted letters to Jewelers Mutual Insurance claiming the burglary occurred and items were reported stolen. Deputies were suspicious of the circumstances of the burglary and records from stores where some of the items were purchased, along with social media and email accounts. They are saying that at the time of their arrest, a search and seizure warrant was executed for the Osefos' home, and deputies found at least 15 items that appeared to be the same ones claimed stolen during the alleged burglary. Investigation revealed that the Osefos, to be burdened by substantial debt, Eddie and Wendy conspired to make fraudulent statements and provided misleading information in support of making the 3 insurance claims for financial gain. Wherefore, the state respectfully requests the bill remains the same at $50,000. These court documents are available now. You can search the Maryland State Records, and I just DM'd them to you on Twitter.
Can you send them to my personal, or you send them to TRR?
I send them to your personal.
Oh, I just got it. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
But the court documents make this really real.
No, I just got the court document, guys. Yeah, this just became something bigger. 1 second.
Jazz Eddie, they're not saying what Eddie has been charged with yet, but per the court documents, it looks as if he made misleading statements to the insurance company. So they was trying to file 3 different insurance claims. Eddie said that he and Wendy's both had their anniversary bands on while they were away in Jamaica. and then he had to amend his statement to say that Wendy didn't have hers. So Wendy probably told him this, oh no, I actually didn't have mine. They was conspiring. But I don't think they're not saying that Eddie specifically has gotten charged with it. Yeah, Wendy mama heart only broken because she knows she's not about to get the allowance no more.
Ooh, someone said when. Okay, so there's a timeline of events, right? April 2nd, 2024, Wendy and Eddie leave for Jamaica. Right? April 2nd.
Correct.
April 7th, they return home and call the police, claiming their bedroom and closets were ransacked and luxury items were stolen. April 8th to the 11th, they allegedly filed 3 separate insurance claims with different companies: Travelers Insurance, Jewelers Mutual, and Home Site Insurance. Are we following, y'all? And April 27th, the investigators find social media posts of Wendy wearing the same diamond ring she claims was stolen. Deputies found the supposed entry window was unlocked and easy to reach, but showed no signs of forced entry. Are we listening? Let me know if we're listening.
Listen, you got over 258 people in here now. The people are listening.
And please, and I'm also live on YouTube right now. I only have 6 people on YouTube, and I know that there's more people that want to know about this on the YouTube. So guys, come on the YouTube too. Come on the YouTube too, guys. Join me on there. Deputies found and share the live because no one else is giving you this tea. Share the live because no one else is breaking it down the way I'm breaking it down. So share it with everybody. The supposed entry window was unlocked and easy to reach and showed no signs of forced entry. No motion alerts were triggered on the couple's ADT or Ring cameras. Are we listening?
Listen, the court documents is exposing it all, Wellington.
No motion alerts were triggered. Okay, let me start over and because the people are saying let's start over. Let me start over, y'all. Let me start over. For those of you that are just joining me, thank you so much for joining me. I am Wellington Gomez, chief correspondent here at the Reality Rundown. We are in a current special report as Wendy and her husband Eddie have been hit with 16 charges, 7 of them being felony. And here's the timeline of events. On April 2nd of 2024, Wendy and Eddie leave for a trip to Jamaica. Thank you for following me and thank you for the gifts because this is my job. So please, please, please support me. I need to pay my rent. On April 2nd, Wendy and Eddie leave for a trip to Jamaica. On April 2nd. On April 7th, they return home from said trip and they call the police claiming their bedroom. They call the police claiming that their bedroom was ransacked and closets were also ransacked and a bunch of luxury bags and items, designer bags, jewelry were stolen. From April 8th to the 11th, are we following? April 2nd, they went to Jamaica. April 7th, they came back from Jamaica and called the cops and said that there was a burglary in the house. The next day, from April 8th to the 11th, they filed three separate insurance claims. On April 8th to the 11th, they filed three separate insurance claims with three different companies: Travelers Insurance, Jewelers Mutual, and Homesite Insurance. Three different claims for the same burglary, by the way. Is this real? I'm a journalist. I went to Montclair State University. I have a degree in journalism. You really think that I will be here claiming all of this if it's fake? Anyways, on April 27th, investigators found social media posts of Wendy wearing the same diamond ring she claims was stolen. So these are yes. So this is the sorry. I'm trying to secure something exclusive for you guys. So there's a lot of back deal things that I'm doing right now as I'm reporting to you. So sorry. At the end of the day, I'm running a company at the same time. So while I am on doing this, I have other things that I have to and my producers are also going through all of this information and getting me the all of the current information and making sure that they're explaining everything to me. So give me a second as my team is working. But with that said, these are the key allegations. Ready? Deputies found the supposed entry window was unlocked and easy to reach, but showed no signs of forced entry. No motion alerts were triggered on the couple's ADT or Ring cameras. No motion alerts were triggered on the couple's ADT or Ring cameras, which had been active during their trip. All their alarms were active, but none of the alarms were triggered. The scene appeared staged, according to deputies. The scene appeared staged, according to deputies, with no real signs of a break-in. This is all official statements coming from the court documents. These are all official statements coming from the court documents. The supposed entry window was unlocked and easy to reach, according to deputies, and showed no signs of forced entry. And I'm trying to get someone to join just to get more opinions and more reactions on this closer to the matter. So give me a second as my team is working. No motion alerts were triggered by the couple's ADT or Ring cameras, which all had been activated while they were on the trip. The scene appeared staged, by the way. That's what deputies found. Deputies found the scene to appear staged. The Osefos are accused of filing 3 insurance claims for the same incident. You're not supposed to file 3 insurance claims for the same incident. The Osefos are claiming, again, the Osefos are accused of filing 3 different insurance claims for the same incident. The traveler's insurance claimed, I'm going to go through. Guys, I have an exclusive. Mia is here. Hi, Mia.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm good. How do I turn my camera on?
Hold on. Let's figure this out.
Listen, what is going on in the P?
I invited you to turn your camera on.
Okay, It's on. It's on.
Oh, hi, Mia.
Hey. Listen, what is happening? I had no idea this was even going on.
I had to text you because we have a relationship, and I heard this, and at the end of the day, I try to reach out to some of the current cast members, and of course, production is not letting some of the people talk right now because there's certain regulations. But again, Mia, I'm here with my audience, and I'm going through this special report right now because there's a lot going on, and I just want to walk. I know you don't know a lot.
I know nothing.
I know that.
Wendy is I just need a second because Wendy is I had no issues with Wendy.
Right.
She just messaged me a couple days ago. She's one of the the only ones who is I'm so proud. What she said was, God has you covered.
Right.
So I need a second.
I get it.
I opened my phone. I had no idea it was even going on, and I'm I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
I'm very, very shocked.
I
thought Miss 4 Degrees had it together. Okay? I thought she had it together. I mean, isn't Eddie an attorney? For heaven's sakes, what the? Excuse my language. Can I not get here? I'm sorry.
Oh, you can. You can. So I know that you don't know a lot of the things that are happening, and you don't know a lot of the details. So I just want to go through some of the details so that you are aware of what's being claimed, okay? So.
And then we gotta hurry up because I was on my way to lunch with my food, y'all.
Yeah. We gotta hurry up. So listen. I'm gonna go fast. So listen. So Wendy and Eddie left for a trip to Jamaica on April 2nd of last year, and when they returned back from that trip from Jamaica on April 7th, they called the police claiming that their bedroom and their closets were ransacked and luxury items were stolen. Right? So, and
I don't know if you remember, but on the show,
yeah.
I brought her to Lake Norman, and we went to a rooftop, and the cake that I gifted her was her bag. It was her blue Birkin bag done. I had a custom cake. It was $600 because I felt so bad. I wanted to celebrate the fact that she lost her Birkin bag, and it was her birthday. So I was like, well, let me give you a Birkin cake.
So listen.
You mean to tell me that she never lost her Birkin? I need my money back.
Oh, Mia.
You got me out here running around looking for a custom Birkin cake.
Mia, so after they called the police, they allegedly filed 3 separate insurance claims for the same incident. Investigators then did an investigation and found social media posts where Wendy was wearing the same diamond ring that she claimed was stolen in the burglary. Deputies, it gets thicker than this. Deputies found the supposed entry window was unlocked and easy to reach, with no signs of forced entry. No motion alerts were triggered on the couple's ADT or Ring cameras. And the scene appeared staged with no real signs of a break-in, according to deputies.
Really, it's hard to believe, y'all. It's hard. Like, it's really, I want to side with my girl. But, you know, law's a law.
Right?
I just don't feel that she would go that low. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we have so many opportunities out here to build businesses and make money and do the things and hire the people. And, you know, I'm not going to say it's always perfect, right? We make mistakes. But that's a lot to say that she actually staged a whole burger. Like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, that's your safety. Your children are involved. You got people Googling your address now. So it's like, I don't see, as a mother and as an educator and as, you know, everything that she has worked hard to build, I just don't see her staging a, like, I'm wrapping my mind around it because, you know, because when it happened, what do we all do? We go to Google, like, ooh, where's Winnie live?
Yeah.
Like, why did you know? Like, does she got gates? You know, what else she got in there? You know what I mean? I just don't see her doing that.
Right.
Is that making sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense. I think that I know the castmates and everybody that is following this story was shocked this morning when this came out, because we, like I said earlier to my audience, Wendy and Eddie, we hold them to a very high standard. They're both professionals in academia. Wendy has 4 degrees. They've done so much. You know, in this current season of Potomac, Wendy is saying how good Happy Eddie is doing and how much money they're making. So seeing that TMZ broke this story that an alleged burglary is being staged for over $423,000, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Karen just got out of jail now. When he's going there, what the hell? We taking turns or like? I don't want no parts, okay? This is not my ass. It's not my business in a man, okay? I ain't had nothing. You know what? I will take my butt back to the strip club and make my dollar for heaven's sake.
Not the strip club shit.
Like, people, it's too much. It's too much. This is a lot. Now, where are the kids?
So that's
everybody's so worried about my children, which my children are perfectly great. Where now? What? Now her kids are sitting here at school, right? Getting the breaking news that mommy and daddy have mugshots because they committed fraud. Like, that's ridiculous.
I hear that.
Show? Because she needed a storyline? Like, no. Like, 1 + 1 is not equaling 2, and I have 0 degrees, and I know that is correct. You know? Like,
yeah.
What?
And deputies finding that the scene appeared staged with no real signs of. This is all from official court documents, so it's not looking good. Mia, one message that you have for Wendy, if she hears this, like what is one thing that you would say to her?
You know, like when you just texted me, like my emotions went up, down, all around. You know, I have a sweet spot for Wendy. We all know that. We had our, you know, we went through it, right? We all know. But I see her. I know what it's like to have to, like, work so hard, you get to the top, it's lonely at the top, and then you have to maintain that top.
Yeah.
Maintaining it is what people sometimes lose themselves to do, and they don't have the courage to walk away and say, you know what, I was that girl before, I'm going to be that girl after. I did that. So what I would say to her is that, girl, you are that girl, okay? Like, you will beat this. This is not an end-all, be-all. And however it pulls, if it happened and they did it that way, learn from it, move on. Like, we're not perfect, but don't give up. Because let me tell you, there's something like, I remember being that little girl that used to have to go through security to go visit her mom. That's how I was raised, going to visit my mother in prison. I'd be damned if that's something that I would want her children to have to do. So I pray that she beats this. Like, I just don't want that for her kids.
Mia, my producers also want me to ask you, because while I have you, you know, your last reunion, a lot of people were calling you a liar. A lot of people had a lot to say about your integrity, had a lot to say about who you are as a person, whether you were lying about your relationship, whether you were lying about the businesses, whether you were lying about your entire storylines. So being where we are, how does that make you feel?
You know, I think, honestly, I know the truth, and what bothers me is that I consider those girls my friends. And when they actually saw an opportunity when I was at my lowest. Going through a divorce by itself is all in itself. Going through a divorce publicly with someone who also has their own issues is a whole other animal. To do it on cameras. So I really do feel that I wish it didn't play out the way it did, because I'm very strong and I've gone through a lot and I have persevered and done great. Beyond. I just wish that I did have someone to advocate for me, to understand that life and it gets tough. But guess what? We switch our wigs out and we keep on trucking day by day. And then it gets better. You know what I mean?
Well, I know you have.
I'm always dominating TL. I came out here to be with my ink, and I end up rolling around with the guy. I'm Mrs. Officer now. You never know what life.
So you are. So you are with him, Mia. You are with Valentino.
Yeah, that's my boo.
That's your boo. Okay, I'm happy for you.
We might be getting married. I don't know.
You might be getting married. You have to tell me first, Mia. You can't be doing that. You can't be. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you, Mia. I know you have to go to lunch. But one last.
You never know where life takes you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. One last question before you go to lunch. Have you spoken to Karen? Have you reached out?
No, so I have not spoken to Karen. I did message her way when she first got sentenced, but I have not spoken to her. You know, I just feel like if I do speak to her, it needs to be like a face-to-face situation. It's not like a phone call, a text message, a voice memo. Like, if I want to see her and I want to hug her. And I really do hope that, she's out now. And obviously she was always amazing. So I hope she remains clean.
Right.
And she gets back to business, because she's the boss and we all look up to her. And, she's definitely a matriarch. She's she's a pivotal part of Potomac, and I would love to see how she comes out on top.
Well, Mia, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you, friend.
Yes, you called me at the right time, honey, because the way I was on my way out the door, thank goodness I had my face on.
No, you were ready to go. Listen, I needed to text you. I said, let me text Mia, because I know my girl pulls out for me. Thank you so much, Mia.
Yes,
Have a good.
I appreciate you. So much love.
Of course.
So much love.
Love you.
Right.
Bye.
If you get out there. Bye.
Didn't I say I was working on something? 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 Big Wellington, not the little one. Big journalist. I'm an actual journalist. My mind is going crazy. Okay? And I have actual connections. And I have actual sources. And clearly, I'm not a blogger. I went to school for journalism and I have a degree in journalism. And you're funny for saying that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Blogger or not, I'm getting to the bag. But like I said, let's recap. Let's recap. Let's recap. Let's recap. Let's recap. Let's recap. Chase, are you on this? Chase, request. Request. I don't see you on this, Chase. Hold on. Accept request. There we go. Hi, my love. I can no. I sent you I put the camera. I sent you a request. Like you have to accept it. Can you see it?
Yeah, I got it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's like a little low.
Is it? Oh, I think it's in my hands.
Yeah.
How about now?
I mean, you still sound a little muffled, but we can hear you.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you sound like you're underwater.
Okay, I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's you know what? I got that.
Is it the AirPods, maybe? Or put your head.
Okay, hello.
Oh, this definitely sounds better.
Okay, hey everybody, it's me, Chase. No Chaser TV. How you, Baby Wellington? Baby Wellington. You're giving it to the people. Is there still an echo, AC? That's me.
No, that's you. That you're good.
Okay. You're giving it to the people, Wellington. We just hopped off of live as well. We actually read the court document. And so, hey, Nitra. And so, I'm just going to say this. I've never really been a Wendy fan. I don't dislike Wendy. But this is a stark contrast from what has been presented by Wendy on the show for seasons. We got high academia, 4 degrees, the duality of having 4 degrees and still being able to get a BBL, twerk, destigmatizing having a cannabis industry, reinvigorating the community and giving jobs. And you know what? I think that's maybe what it is. Let me go ahead because I'm in my computer room. So maybe that's what the tea is. I don't know, you guys. Anyway, but everything that we presented is not in alignment with these charges. And then we read on the court documents today that they actually allegedly have an email from Eddie emailing Dr. Wendy saying that our max is $423,000. What else can we add to hit the max?
No.
And that's what changed my mind on the whole thing. What's the charges, y'all?
I have it here.
The charges again. Yeah.
Email evidence. On April 12, 2024, Eddie allegedly emailed Wendy asking if they could add additional high-value items like Chanel shoes to the claim to reach their policy maximum of $423,000.
Absolutely. So let me tell you something. Guys, No Chaser TV is doing fabulous. Thank you for all the support. The Reality Rundown, me and the Reality Rundown, we tight, okay? We tight, okay?
Make sure you follow Chase, y'all. If you're following me, you gotta follow Chase. So make sure you're following Chase.
I know you guys never really get to see the face on the social. Baby, one thing about it, I give it to the people. With that being said, do you hear what I'm saying to you? I worked before this started. You know how you said you get to the bag, we get to the bags. But before we started getting to these social media bags, I worked in insurance for 10 years. We routinely had to take fraud training classes. You are not going to be able to put in a claim for $450,000 fucking dollars. Excuse me, I forgot one on TikTok. For $450,000 and think that regardless to whether they pay you out or not, they are not going to investigate this thoroughly. They're going to hire private investigators to comb through your social media. Allegedly, they say they found that Wendy was wearing one of the diamond rings that they said were missing or stolen in an alleged photo. Not only that, you guys, they say that when the incident happened, they were going and they claimed they were wearing their travel wedding bands. And then Eddie came back a day later and added one of Wendy's gold diamond wedding rings to the claim for $25,000 and got paid out shortly thereafter. So they paid these people the money. They're going to follow you after they pay you. First of all, if you get away with it, they're going to follow you around. They're going to check your social media. They're going to check serial numbers because you have to be able to produce receipts if you can. If you produce a receipt, they're going to check the serial number. They're going to figure out where the item is. They're going to call the store to see if you returned it. Like, they're going to do all of those things because newsflash, I know you guys don't believe this, but a lot of insurance companies don't want to pay you the money in the first place. This is in stark contrast to everything that we've been presented. And, for Wendy to be so snooty and hooty and highfalutin about everybody else's affairs, this deserves to be spoken about on camera. Now that I'm thinking about it, we didn't even speak about the burglary on camera. We drug her burglary out for years ad nauseum to the point that PK was like, girl, we allegedly set this up. Be quiet so I divorce you. Just joking, but, this has been going on in Housewives for years, but it's also been talked about. This deserves to be talked about as well. I was wondering why she gave Karen so much grace at the season premiere, considering how things left off between them. And I just thought it was because Wendy was a class act. But
you think this is why she was giving grace?
I think it has something to do with it. And now it also implores us to, yes. So Wendy and Eddie allegedly got robbed last April of 2024. This is when they're saying they went ahead and filed all of those missing items and stolen items, burglarized items, and even though
and Mia was just on my live and said that actually when they were on the trip, the reason why she had a cake with the Birkin bag on it was because Eddie and Wendy were just coming off of that burglary, so she made. Mm-hmm.
She played the girls too. And this is why, now let me just say this, you guys. I know that Kiana's overall arc is a reach, right? But hear me out about Kiana, right? She's going to reach a lot this season, I have a feeling. But when it comes down to Kiana and Wendy, the basic issue is this. You do not give me the same Wendy that you give me on the phone as in public. So you're one way with me behind closed doors, and then after that, you're a whole nother way, and they don't align. Everything that Wendy has presented to us on this show for seasons does not align with the mugshot. So now we have to take into account that while Kiana is reaching about, oh, you didn't wait for me on stage, when someone has an eye out on you and doesn't believe that you're treating them fairly in a friendship, or they have an issue with you, everything that you do is going to rub them the wrong way, whether you're doing something to them or not. So that's why Kiana looks crazy. But her basic point to me, I can't negate her basic point, which is you're not the same way all the time. And of course, I'm not saying that Wendy and Eddie are career criminals, and I hope that they can prove that this stuff is not true. But it's a stark contrast from the upper echelon, the black academia, the black excellence, the enterprising couple, the married couple, the well-to-do couple, and you're out here allegedly filing claims like this. It's just a stark contrast. So it's something to consider, something to question, and I wish the best for Wendy and Eddie, because no matter what happens, I'm not a fan of the criminal justice system, and I do not believe that people should go to jail for white-collar crimes. So that's where I'm at with it. However, we'll have our Kiki download off the thing. And everybody, hey, how y'all doing? Hey to the people. And you can follow us at No Chaser TV and at the Reality Rundown. Between the two of you, we're gonna give you all the tea. Okay.
Every time. Love you, Chase.
Bye, guys.
Ah, wow. Wow. It's a lot of people texting me. It's a lot of stuff. I'm tired. Look at my hair. Like I wasn't even ready to be on camera today for real. Let me just reset the room real quick. Shit. Let me just reset the room real quick. For those that are joining me now, Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie have been hit with 16 criminal charges, including 7 felonies. After police say the couple faked a burglary to cash in on insurance fraud. According to reports, the Osefos told police their home was ransacked last April while they were in Jamaica, claiming designer bags and jewelry, including Wendy's diamond ring, were stolen. But investigators say Wendy was later spotted online wearing the same ring, and receipts show many stolen items were already been returned and refunds were already processed before the alleged break-in. They're now facing multiple fraud counts and false statement charges with potential prison time if convicted. So let me break down the timeline of events. Thank you for those joining the Reality Rundown. I am the chief correspondent, Wellington Gomez. On April 2nd, Wendy and Eddie left to a trip to Jamaica. On the 7th, they returned from that trip and called the police, claiming their bedroom and their closet were burglarized and luxury items, designer bags and jewelry, were stolen. Now, after that initial report to the authorities, from the 8th to the 11th, they allegedly filed 3 separate insurance claims with different companies: Travelers Insurance, Jewelers Mutual, and the Homicide Insurance, for the same burglary. Let me just let the audience know, you're not supposed to file different insurance claims for the same incident and make it pass as different incidents. On April 27th, investigators find social media posts of Wendy wearing the same diamond ring she claimed was stolen. So let's get into the key allegations. And for those joining, again, thank you so much. My name is Wellington. I am the chief correspondent here at the Reality Rundown. Wendy and her husband, Eddie, have been hit with 16 charges, 7 of those charges being felony counts in fraud and insurance fraud. As we get more into the As we get more into the court documents that the Reality Rundown has obtained, deputies found the supposed window that was used for the supposed entry was unlocked and easy to reach, but showed no signs of forced entry. Deputies also found that even though Eddie and Wendy have ADT security system and Ring cameras, none of these security systems were triggered. None of these security systems were triggered by the break-in, even though these security systems were all active when said break-in happened. Court documents state that deputies found the scene to appear staged with no real signs of a break-in. Let me keep going. The Osefos are accused of filing 3 insurance claims for the same incident. The first one with traveler's insurance, $25,000 and $380. That was the payout of the first insurance claim, including $4,500 for Wendy's diamond anniversary band, which is the ring that she was seen on social media with after she reported it stolen. The second claim with Homesite Insurance, the claim was for $450,000. $450,000 in property losses and $2,500 in building damage. The third, Wendy from Potomac, Wendy from the Real Housewives of Potomac, correct. The third insurance claim with Jewelers Mutual, a separate claim for the jewelry theft, listed 57 items. The jewelry, the third one, listed 57 items. They allegedly didn't disclose each company they allegedly didn't disclose to each companies that other claims were being filed for the same loss. So even though they were claiming with certain people, they were not disclosing to these insurance companies that they were filing the same things with different companies. Mind you, Eddie's a lawyer. So let's get into the false statements and the evidence. Are we ready? Get me to 20,000. Get me to 20,000. I'm gonna go pee, and then we're gonna get into the false statements and the evidence. Yeah, get me to 20,000. Get me to 20,000. I thought I was gonna go back and come back, and we were already gonna be at 20,000. Let's go. Y'all could do it. It's 200 of us in here. Y'all could do it. Let's go. Like the live. Because now we're gonna go into the false statements and the evidence that was found in those court documents. we're going to get into the false statements and the evidence that were found, that my team found in those court documents. And there is some very much revealing things in these court documents. $16.6, 16.7, 16.8, 16.9, 17. We're working. Tap that screen. Also, thank you to everybody that has sent me gifts. I appreciate it. I don't do this just to do it. I do this because this is my job. So if you feel like supporting me, thank you so much for sending a gift. I appreciate it so much. My birthday is actually next week. So thank you. 18.6, 18.7, 18.8. We're almost there. 19.2, 19.3. Happy birthday. Thank you. My birthday's on Tuesday. Thank you so much. My birthday's on Tuesday. The 14th. 20,000. Okay, so here we go, guys. Let's get into the false statements and the evidence that I found. Stop. Your birthday's the 14th too? I just followed you. Okay, so let's get into the false statements and the evidence that I found after looking at the court documents that were released. Eddie Osefo told Travelers Insurance they were wearing their wedding bands during the burglary. When Eddie made the first claim to Travelers Insurance, he told the insurance they were wearing their wedding bands during the burglary, then changed his story later, saying Wendy's was stolen. Investigators say many of the items listed as stolen had actually been returned to stores for refunds. For example, there was a Dior shirt that was valued at $1,450 that was returned months earlier for a refund. There was a Gucci wallet bought in 2018. There was a Gucci wallet that was bought in 2018. Well, Fancy, I have some new developments, so I'm just letting the people know about these new developments. I don't know why y'all get so mad about, like, you don't have to watch me. Like, am I bothering you? That's so weird. Anyways, a Gucci wallet that was bought in 2018 was returned for $940. $948. Now, here's where it gets real messy. You think 2018 is crazy? This is where it gets messy. Are you ready? Let me see if I can write it on here. Hold on, give me 1 second. I don't know why. I don't know why. There you go. There you go. This is where it gets tricky. Ready? Emails were found. There's email evidence. On April 12th, listen to this, and let me go back to the timeline of events. Let me go back to the timeline of events. Let me go back to the timeline of events. From April 8th to the 11th, they submitted 3 different insurance claims. However, on the 12th, Eddie allegedly emailed Wendy asking if they could add any additional high-value items like Chanel shoes to the claim to reach the policy maximum. On April 12th, Eddie allegedly emailed Wendy asking if they could add additional high-value items like Chanel shoes to the claim to reach the maximum. Deputies say Wendy was seen in photos before and after the alleged burglary wearing the same diamond anniversary ring she reported stolen. The same one claimed in multiple insurance filings. And that's important to know because a lot of people, I've seen a lot of comments saying, is this a mistake? Is this a mistake? Is this a mistake? She reported the same ring that she had on. She reported it stolen in 3 different claims. That photo evidence directly contradicts the Osefos' sworn statements to the insurer, which is why they were charged with a misdemeanor of falsifying reports. When deputies executed a search warrant, they found, oh my God. Are y'all ready for this one? Are y'all ready for this one? When deputies executed a search warrant, they found at least 15. Oh my God. They found at least 15 of the items that the couple claimed were stolen inside the house. When deputies executed a search warrant, they found at least 15 of the items that the couple claimed were stolen still in the house. So I'm going to give you the charges and I'm going to give you the bail information. Ready? 7 counts of insurance fraud. 8 counts of conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. And 1 count of making false statement to the police. The bail is set at $50,000. The bail is set at $50,000. Each felony count of insurance fraud carries up to 10 years in prison and $10,000 in fines, meaning up to 150 plus years combined if sentences were stacked. But that's very rare. Let me just say that. It's very rare for them to stack sentences. However, due to all of the counts, when you add up all of the counts, you can get up to 150 years combined. The misdemeanor false statement charges carries up to at least 1 year in jail. And that's for the smallest charge. Are y'all listening? For the smallest charge, she could go to at least 1 year. Let me keep going, or do I need to reset? Do I need to reset? I think I need to reset. Should I reset? Keep going. So listen. The documents say that investigators found the Osefos were burdened by substantial debt. I thought Happy Eddie was selling. I thought Happy Eddie was selling eighths and ounces. I thought the hood was hooked on Happy Eddie. What happened? I thought the hood was hooked on Happy Eddie. What happened? The documents say investigators found the Osefos were burdened, and I quote, burdened by substantial debt. Prosecutors allege that financial pressure motivated, listen to this. Prosecutors allege that financial pressure motivated the couple to stage the burglary and submit inflated or false claims for financial gain. Prosecutors allege that the financial pressure motivated the couple to stage the burglary and submit inflated or false claims for financial gain. Investigators believe the Osefos faked the burglary. They filed multiple overlapping insurance claims, claimed refunds as stolen property, and lied to both police and insurers to collect hundreds of thousands of dollars. Again, in summary, investigators believe the Osefos faked the burglary. They believe that the Osefos filed multiple overlapping insurance claims. They claimed items that were refunded as stolen property and lied to both police and insurers to collect hundreds of thousands of dollars. This case is now with the Maryland Circuit Court, and both Wendy and Eddie are facing serious felony charges. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Again, Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie have been hit with 16 criminal charges, including 7 felony. 7 of those 16s are felony charges after police say they faked a burglary. Deputies found that the supposed entry window was unlocked and easy to reach. No motion alerts were triggered, even though all of the security systems were online during the time of the burglary. The scene appears staged with no real signs of break-in. Again, the documents say investigators found the Osefos were burdened by substantial debt. Prosecutors allege that the financial pressure motivated the couple to stage the burglary and submit I'm opening the hotline. I'm opening the hotline because I want to hear from the people. If you have something to say, if you have an opinion, if you want to get something off your chest about what we're talking about right now, request, and the hotline is open because I want to know what the people are thinking about this. I want to know what the people are thinking about this. First caller up. First caller up. Someone said Dorit can do it, but not if you're a black girl. Well, if they're investigating Dorit, they're going to get her too. Are you guys listening to everything I said? And I'm sorry, this is sloppy. This is sloppy. First caller up. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm good. I'm good. So listen, sister, what's tea? Let me know.
So listen, I'm from Canada. I watched the show, and I think it's quite unfortunate because Wendy, she had a really good career. She had good jobs. She has 2 degrees, and she's always fronting in people's face. And she just going downgrade, I feel like. She's just downgrading.
What do you think about the scene appearing staged? And also, just 100%, do you believe what the prosecution is claiming?
Unfortunately, I would say I have to believe what you read. I don't know if it's from the prosecution or it's from the TMZ or.
Well, the information that I'm providing my audience is court documents, and court documents have been, sworn in, and these are legitimate court documents. So there's no lies on this. These are all of the reports that the prosecution put together before, bringing them in. And all of this information has been released now that all of this is going, everywhere.
You know what is so sad is that she could have kept her job as a professor and do her Kindle business. I guess it's like we have to have some compassion for her and give her grace because we don't know what people go into their personal life and stuff. The debt that she has, the thing that she has to pay, the facade she has to put on for TV. I unfortunately believe everything, but at the same time, I give her grace, and I think it's quite sad.
Well, thank you for joining me and giving me your opinion, Tiffany.
Thank you so much.
Of course. All right, next caller. Next caller. Next caller. Next caller.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, boo. What's tea?
So I definitely believe everything that Wendy and Eddie are being charged with.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate, but I definitely believe it. Where Eddie and Wendy live, so they live in Finksburg, Maryland, and it's a suburb. It's almost like you're going towards the country. If there's anybody here in the chat that's from Maryland, they live like in the country. Those homes typically aren't broken into. So for them to even stage a break-in, that's wild, that's crazy. They definitely did that to add to their lifestyles. They have to keep up with their lifestyles, unfortunately, being on television. Happy Eddie, I don't think.
But you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I don't even think that the lifestyle that they show us is that glamorous for them to have to keep up. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true. You're absolutely right.
Like, what lifestyle is Wendy and Eddie showing us that we're like, oh my God?
Right. You are absolutely right. I know all three kids are in private school. So that's another thing that they have to pay for. The private schools here in Maryland, super expensive as they would be in any other state.
Right, correct.
So I think that's why they did that. They did it very sloppily. I'm surprised with Wendy and her 4 degrees. Don't get me wrong, I love Wendy down, but like Wendy and her 4 degrees. And Eddie being a lawyer, you all weren't smarter with this. So, yeah, but that was my take. Thank you so much for breaking everything down for us so we could get more information and the tea.
Of course, my love. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Next caller. Next caller. Next caller. Next caller.
Sorry, it was connecting. Thank you for bringing me up. I truly appreciate it. And I first want to commend you and your team for all of the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
This is the type of reporting we need. We need accurate, non-biased, legally binding. You're not giving any opinion. You're giving what was presented to you and presented to the public. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My thoughts on this is I'm very intrigued in how the intersectionality of reality television, specifically this type of franchise, Housewives, and fraud have created such a very unique avenue for the ways we look at crimes and how they're prosecuted or allegations of crimes, because this is not the first housewife to be charged with or be accused of fraud, especially at that high of a level. We could just, I'm from Jersey, I'm from Newark, so we could just like.
Me too!
So
I'm in the hood right now!
Yes, what's up?
What's good?
So the fact that, and I worked around the corner from the North Courthouse where Teresa and her husband were facing trial. So like I got to see the way that the cameras will come in to a lot of these spaces, but I'm always interested in how this type of crime continues to happen at this level with these particular crowds of reality TV stars.
I agree.
Because the ways in which we've seen example after example after example, and it's not as if these crimes aren't being committed elsewhere, because they are, right? And I'm not even talking about just, we could take away the racial dynamic of it all, right? I think this is definitely social economic conversations that we're missing out on. But the fact that it was allegedly done in this type of way tells me one of two things. One, either they believe that they are above reproach, meaning that because they have this type of esteem or they've risen to these financial levels or these professional circles or social circles, that they won't be prosecuted or combed through as if they because they appear to be living this fabulous life and the way that people perceive them to be living this fabulous life, that they have earned this wholeheartedly without anything of mess to be associated with it. So it's like, oh, she's famous. Of course they have money. Of course they have access to all of these things. But we know a lot of these reality TV stars are making very little money, if any, and the cost of entry to be on these shows and maintain that appearance of designer bags, private jets, these very luxurious houses, these very exclusive gated communities, right? These cars every 2 or 3 years. Like, this is very expensive to upkeep, right?
Yeah.
At the base level.
Yep.
So they either think that they're above reproach, or they're so, and I don't want to say this in a way that seems condescending, but they are so dull that they think that this appears to be on the up and up. Because a lot of the allegations or the investigation that you presented, so the fact that they returned items and put it in the report, and the fact that they live in such a very astute community that has a very low statistical reports of break-ins or crimes, tells me that you did not think this through. And if you are in the space of committing fraud, I'm not telling anyone how to commit fraud, but like being a journalist and looking through tons and tons of fraud cases, especially with reality television stars, is like, have you not learned from anything else that if you're going to do the crime, allegedly, do it better? Like, you've had so many other examples of how to execute this.
Not only that, let's talk about the fact that Eddie Osefo is a lawyer, and on April 12th, Eddie allegedly emailed Wendy asking if they could add any additional high-value items to maximize the claim. On email, Eddie?
And that's my point. It's like you have access to the law and you know it to the T. So the fact that you would be this sloppy tells me those one or two things. If you think that you weren't going to be investigated, or that you just don't have the type of intelligence that we think or you portray to have. Because I can't for the life of me think of anyone, and I have several friends and family members who practice law or in the law field, and even as a journalist, I'm required to learn how to read legal documents.
Come on, journalists.
Right now, you have to know the difference between allegations and versus when somebody's booked, versus when they're charged, versus when they're indicted. These are very specific legal terms and jargon that you have to be careful with, because you have access to this information, so you are going to be held at a higher standard. So the fact that you are a licensed bar-passing lawyer tells me you have to be the most dim-witted person to think that you have all of this knowledge and you don't know how to circumvent the system. And this is why when people have these conversations about Dorit over there in Beverly Hills, the reason why it's so different, one, because the layers of, and of course these are allegations, but the layers of racism that comes along with this, xenophobia that comes along with this, misogyny that comes along with this, and then it's also visibility. So when you have people like Dorit and PK that are accused of these crimes, and even with Erica Jane, Jen Shaw, like we could go down a list of all these people, Teresa Giudice, they were not grabbed the first year of these allegations. These are cases that are being built slowly and steadily, because they know, at least in the legal's mind, they have access to lawyers that can find loopholes to get them on lesser charges or get them away with different things. The fact that you have the legal mind to know how the law works and how you can be prosecuted in different ways, and you're leaving digital trails in 2025. What is wrong with people? Especially when it comes to these chargebacks. Because me and you, I don't want to speak on anyone's financial situation, but if we do a chargeback on our debit cards, at the very bare minimum, our bank is investigating. If it's $25 or $2,500, the fact that you are going into these designer boutiques and purchasing items, they have all the surveillance in the world. They have such a thorough documentation process. Let me not even talk about Hermes. They have serial numbers in their bags. Girl,
why are you claiming a Dior shirt that you bought in 2018?
Tell me.
2018?
Listen, sister. Listen, you cannot go to Target or Walmart after a certain period of time and return something without them niggas running back the cameras. Without them looking at your receipts. Target has a policy: if you return over a certain education around the law, or if I had the type of esteem or platform, the way in which you could leverage it for generational wealth, but instead you are trying to give the appearance of luxury rather than sitting in luxury, and then they make fun of people like Marlo for having a townhome, and then other people's homes are being repossessed, or they have to put a lien on it because they can't pay for it.
No. You showed up to Giselle's house and said, hating on this? So how about Giselle shows up to the courthouse and says, hating on this?
Listen, I did not come up here to go on my soapbox. I really just was interested in the intersectionality, but the more I think about it, I'm like, they gave the wrong people money. They gave the wrong people. The way I was shut up, you're making $100,000 minimum to be on this show to shoot for a few weeks, and then you're making money on public appearances.
Oh, I think her phone.
I'm also an academic, so you make money on the contract to be an adjunct, and don't tell me if you're tenure or not, public speaking on these television networks. You have money and avenues to make money. So it's like, what point do you say I'm content with what I have and I'm waiting for something to expand? Increase your booking fee, increase your speaking fee, increase the way you're promoting your books. You have all these avenues. So when I hear about housewives that get charged with these crimes, one, this is very on brand in terms of the way that we look at housewives, not the show or the series, but the way we look at incomes when it comes to the upper middle class, white collar crimes. This is very much in line with that. A lot of people are in this fantasy that they make their husbands or wives or whatever the case is make a lot more money than they do because they know how to finagle the numbers.
Right.
So this is not a something that's not common, right? That already happens. This is not an anomaly. That's what I was going to say. Anomaly. So the fact that it's happening in reality television shows on such a consistent basis, and in this scenario, of course, these are just allegations, but the way in which I'm so fascinated with how these housewives, specifically when it comes to fraud charges, are constantly shown to be so dimly lit. I'm like, even with Jen Shaw's charges, I was like, okay, it was like kind of like a mastermind thing. It took a little minute for them to get her. She had all these people in these different positions. She wasn't the face of it. It wasn't directly tied to her. They had to do a lot of digging and investigation to get it. But my God, you're going to Dior and returning a shirt to the... It is so many levels of this that does not make sense to me, and the way that I'm going to be on this trial, if it goes to trial, because I'm just so interested to see what happens.
Oh, you might have to become a correspondent for my brand moving forward. The way you speak.
Listen. I feel like me and you, we're in. I can't speak for everybody, but there's some people in the chat that are saying this too. Yeah, Shanice, this type of thing interests me because if I did not go into entertainment journalism, I would have become an entertainment attorney, specifically around like copyrights and trademarks. So those type of cases, like the Drake lawsuit, that was really of my interest because it's an intersection.
Right.
But the way these housewives move and maneuver, like even with the house husbands, like with Peter Thomas, like there are a lot of things that come up, and I'm just like, how and why? And I have a lot of questions, and it really sparks my interest. But yes, keep doing your thing. Congratulations to you all. You're doing such great reporting coming from a journalist. I really respect everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
And I already hit the follow. I will be back. The more documents you have, I will be back.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. Oh, I love her down. Next caller. Next caller. Next caller. Next caller. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Next caller.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. What's tea, Diva?
Oh my gosh. First of all, let me tell you, this was not the news I was expecting to get this morning at all. Was I gagged? Yes. But I had to stop and realize a couple things. Number one, when you kind of judge a person's character, right? We never would have expected something like this to come out. But I had to sit with myself and say, okay, Wendy can go on Fox News, No problem. She can go on MSNBC.
Yeah, and no shade. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, excuse me. I'm gonna need to roll because it's that serious. Keep going.
It's just like when you speak the language of so many people, I said, now hold on. She can speak to these Republicans any kind of way and get over on it. You cannot just sit here and say she cannot do it to us as well. That was number one. Number two, I don't think I've been this shocked since when Teresa Giudice got her sentencing. I was on the radio at the time when she got her sentencing and had to full on pause. I said, wait, I thought Joe was for sure going to go. But I said, Teresa, I knew from then, I said, when they could do it to her, they're going to do it to every single housewife after that, period. But what's so weird to me, right, is because in the educational space, if they wanted more money, Wendy, being a public figure, could have asked for more money. If a department is willing to pay, they will pay for you to come teach at your expense.
Not only that, these
$2,000, for a whole semester. No, being that she's the public figure that she is, that she has worked on the Capitol, she has all these accolades. They would have found the money to pay for her.
Mm-hmm.
And the same could have been for Eddie if they needed money to pay for him as well to teach. So the fact that they went and ran all this stuff back, it's just like, I don't get how they were too smart and too dumb at the same time.
Right. I agree with you. Well, let me say this. My team is giving me some information. A full professor at Johns Hopkins University, which is the university that Wendy was working at, and she was a full-time professor of, could be paid in the range of $200,000 to $450,000 a year.
Oh no! See, academics wish we could make that kind of money.
And that's her being a full-time professor at one of the biggest universities of the country.
Mm-hmm. Mind you, she just in this other new position she got. She was supposed to be teaching some class about how pop culture means.
Yes, she was supposed.
It's crazy because how did you leave out that piece where you were taking pictures with the exact merchandise? And that whole, that didn't come to mind at all within any of that, which is crazy. But she's been on multiple platforms doing where this like pop reality meets professionalism, and that's very cool and all. But it's also like you gotta have your shit together. You gotta have your shit together if that's the lifestyle that you're going to portray. My love, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your take. There's some things that about this case that have struck me, and now, guys, let me update the TMZ article just to make sure that they have not added anything. They have not added anything. So what we know right now is what we know right now. Again, I'm gonna go through the information one last time, and I will be back on live if we have new developments. Wendy Osefo and her husband, Eddie Osefo, have been hit with 16 charges of fraud. 7 of those charges are felonies. Deputies found that the supposed entry window was unlocked and easy to reach, but showed no signs of a forced entry. No motion alerts were triggered on the couple's ADT or Ring cameras, even though both security measures were live when the burglary that they claim happened. The scene appeared to be staged with no real signs of a break-in, according to deputies. The Osefos are accused of filing 3 insurance claims for the same incident. They filed one with Travelers Insurance for $25,000, and in that claim, including $4,500 for Wendy's diamond ring that she was pictured with before and after the burglary. They filed another one with Homesite Insurance for $450,000. And they filed a third insurance claim with Jewelers Mutual with a list of 57 items on that list alone.
claiming 57 items, at least 57 items were stolen. They didn't disclose to each company that other claims were being filed for the same loss, which is a major red flag to insurance companies. Eddie Osefo told Travelers Insurance that they were wearing their wedding bands during the time of the burglary. Then he changed his story saying Wendy's wedding band was stolen. Investigators say many of the items listed as stolen had actually been returned to stores for refunds before the alleged burglary. Some of those examples that my team was able to get: a Dior shirt that was valued at $1,500 was returned earlier that month, and a Gucci wallet that was valued at almost $1,000 that they bought back in 2018 was already returned, and they claimed it in the lawsuit. That's not where it stops. Additional evidence comes in. On April 12 of 2024, Eddie allegedly emailed Wendy if they could, and I quote, add additional high-value items, end quote, like Chanel shoes, to the claim to reach the policy maximum. Authorities are saying that Wendy was seen in photos before and after the alleged burglary, wearing the same diamond anniversary ring she reported stolen. The same one claimed in multiple insurance filings. That photo evidence directly contradicts the Osefo sworn statements to the insurers. This is why insurance claim and insurance fraud is so important. When you make an insurance claim, you're not just making a claim on a website. These are sworn-in statements that you're providing to an insurance company saying that things were stolen. When deputies executed a search warrant, are y'all listening? When deputies executed a search warrant, they found at least 15 of the items that the couple claimed were stolen inside their house. They're facing 7 counts of insurance fraud, 8 counts of conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, 1 count of making a false statement to the police. The bail was set at $50,000. Each felony count of insurance fraud carries up to 10 years in prison and $10,000 in fines, meaning up to 150, oh my God, up to 150 plus years of combined sentences if the sentences were stacked, which is very rare. The misdemeanor false statement charge carries up to 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine. The documents say investigators found the Osefos were burdened by substantial debt. Prosecutors allege that financial pressure motivated the couple to stage the burglary and to submit inflated and false claims for financial gain. In summary, investigators believe the Osefos faked a burglary. They also believed that the Osefos filed multiple overlapping insurance claims. And that in these insurance claims, there were items that were returned to the stores and refunds were already processed, and the Osefos claimed it as stolen property. And that they both lied to police and insurers to collect hundreds of thousands of dollars. This case is now in the Maryland Circuit Court, and both Wendy and Eddie are facing serious felony charges. That is all we know right now at the Reality Rundown. We will be back with new developments as new developments come. Thank you to all of our listeners. Follow us. Turn that notification button up just in case we go live. You don't miss it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Wellington Gomez out. Oh, I forgot that I'm still on YouTube. Bye, guys. I love you.